This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
I'm going to say 4 words, and these words could potentially change your life, move your life forward. You need to heal. Now, when you hear that, many of us, myself and our guest today included, say and said, I don't need to heal from anything. I didn't break anything. I didn't fall. I don't have a cut or scrape or bruise or anything like that. No, you do. And it comes from many years ago, your childhood, most likely. Even if you had a great childhood, there's things there that are holding you back that you need to heal from. It's as simple as that. Well, it's not totally simple. The concept is, but once you do the work, what a difference. What a transformation. This is what she does. And she is your transformational guide, combining hypnosis, coaching, massage, energy work, i.e. Reiki, and so much more. So let's heal together. Kathy Bjerke is back on the program with us. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Steve. Good to see you today.
You too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting? A second before we jumped on here, we both said the same thing. We didn't think we needed to heal. And once we did the work, not to say we're done, at least I can't say that. The journey, it's ongoing.
Right.
What a difference. Can you share the moment or moments where you had that first look of, this is impactful. This is moving my life forward. Do you remember?
Yeah. The first time that I really saw the importance of emotional healing was in hypnosis training. And again, I didn't think I needed to heal. I had a great childhood. But when I learned how every human being's brains develop, the light bulb went off and I said, oh my goodness, I have some work to do here. And it's a scary getting started. You just don't know what to expect. And for most people, especially you and I mentioned we had a nice childhood. There are some people that haven't had a nice childhood. And the last thing they want to do is revisit that. And they think that's what they have to do in order to heal. We can do it in kind of a roundabout way without having to go back to that incident in the way that I do my healing. And it's so much easier than what people think. And I always tell my clients that it's going to be easier than what you think, but be prepared for things to come up that you're not expecting. And it's always easier than what people think.
Is it more of a not having to go back, but more of a realization? Because I did hypnotherapy, Reiki, probably due for some more hypnotherapy, just because, why not? Although now that I remember, it was about 2 months ago, and that was a past life regression. Whoa, totally different topic. But I don't feel like I had to endure the things I went through. And even though childhood was okay, there was stuff. Parents got divorced when I was barely born. They were working on it. Bullying, things like that. But confronting myself as a child in hypnosis, and there's all different ways to do it, was impactful, but also emotional. Like that, I'll never forget that. And even when I repeat the words I said to myself as a child in hypnotherapy, essentially just saying, I got you back. I'm always going to be here for you. Don't ever worry. Sometimes it gets me. It's like, oh, wow. All right. But I didn't, and this is just my journey. I'm just sharing. I think I learned from everybody's story. So I hope that others will from ours. I didn't feel like I was back in it again, but I saw things like memories and things like that, but everybody is different. Everybody's different, right?
Right. And when we're children, we don't have the rational adult thinking brain that you and I have in this moment. As children, the way we take in an event, our perception is part reality and part fantasy. That's just how the brain works at that age. And when you go through an event that's challenging, say the bullying, a part of your brain develops and steps forward to support you and encourage you and assist you through that difficult time. By the time we are 11 or 12 years old, our emotional brain, which is the subconscious part of the brain, is fully developed, and then it never changes
Oh,
until
okay, that's big.
until we go back in communication with the subconscious mind to give it new information, to allow some of those emotions to be processed that you did not have the opportunity to process when you were being bullied in kindergarten. Our emotional brains never change past 11 and 12. And that's why hypnosis is such a valid therapeutic tool. We are the only profession that works in the subconscious brain. And that's our work. That's where the root issue of our emotional distress and our emotional, say, immaturity lies. It's in the subconscious mind. The reason we go into hypnosis, we mentioned in a podcast earlier, was to bypass the conscious mind, which is the thinking mind. So we need to shut down the thinking in order for us to have access to communicate with the subconscious mind, in order to allow it to tell us what we need to know. Allow that little child to tell you, Steve, you're going to be okay. That cannot be done consciously. That has to be done in the subconscious mind.
So, realization for me today, I've studied it. I've done countless podcasts. I couldn't even tell you how many in terms of hypnotherapy, healing, energy work, everything we're talking about. I've never heard that the subconscious mind is done, developed, finished by 10, 11, 12 years
11
old.
or 12, 11 to 12, fifth or sixth grade. And that's where our emotional maturity sits until we go back in and address it and give it new information. So the part of, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I was bullied. Everybody's been bullied. But the part of me that stepped forward to avoid the bully was stand back in the corner. Don't be seen. Don't be heard. Then they'll just walk right past.
Yep.
And that's great when I was little. But then get into my adulthood and, trying to have a career, have a profession, and eventually open a business and be on my own. That is not a great limiting belief to have. Don't be seen, don't be heard. But that stayed there until I went back in my hypnosis training, education, and work and re-educated it. And now I'm on a podcast being seen and heard. That's the power of healing. That's what hypnosis can do.
I'm right there with you. I totally relate to everything you said.
Yes.
And as we're talking, I'm flashing back in my mind, because now you got me on this 11 or 12 thing. Not that I get obsessed with anything ever, but now I'm stuck on it. And I'm going back in my mind and seeing, oh, that happened, fifth grade. That was sixth. That was fourth grade. Remember that? Second grade. But here's the thing, and maybe it's because of doing the work. I see all of that, but if I were to take and look at my adult life and things along the way, they're there, and I'm talking challenges. They're there, but and not to say they weren't challenging, but I see them differently. I see the childhood as the challenge. And maybe that's now I'm seeing it because of doing this and understanding it. And when I say that, I call it connecting the dots. So I look back at childhood, 12 and back, and see those things and how they could have or do impact me in adult life. And common denominator is feeling alone, because bully did the same. I have images. I was, I don't know, fourth grade, fifth grade, walking on the playground. I'm going to do it. I would walk with my arms like this, and I'd just be like walking around, just like staring, because they didn't pick me to play baseball. I was the fat kid. They didn't pick me for
Mhm.
dodgeball, any of that. So that feeling there and how it comes up again and comes up again in different areas.
Mhm.
Um, you see your childhood very differently, don't you? Once you do hypnotherapy
Yeah,
and do this work, right?
you do. And the way that I would like to introduce a new way of thinking to you is, what if all of those challenges that you're saying, those times when you felt alone, what if those were opportunities for you to step into your power and recognize you had everything that you needed?
Yep.
You just had to allow it to come forth. So you had brought up, you can see patterns in your life. What happened in your early childhood probably happened in high school and in college, into early adulthood, even maybe into adulthood now.
Sure.
So all of these patterns, all of these repeating uh, issues, challenges, they are simply opportunities for us to grow and to learn and expand. So my work specifically focuses on taking people back in hypnosis to soul form. So before this lifetime, in order for you to experience the fact that every human being is an everlasting soul, we are pure love, joy, peace, all of those high vibrational energies. That is who we truly are. That is our personality and our soul. In this moment, we are experiencing a lifetime. And we chose an issue, maybe an emotion or a limiting belief. Can I use um, I feel alone? Can I use that as an example?
Sure.
So your soul, before it came into this lifetime, actually chose, this is what I'm going to work on. And then you, as a human being, are not going to remember that's what you chose to work on, but you set your life up in order to learn how to work through the limiting belief that I am alone, because you are not ever alone. But that's why there's patterns, repeated patterns, because your soul wants you to learn this information. It's giving you many opportunities. It's just like life is a big school.
Mm.
And each stage of our life maybe is a different class. Some of them are easier, some of them are more difficult, but each of them are opportunities to have an experience and to learn, to kind of pass the test, shall we say.
I want to validate what you just said in just a moment. But before I even go there, why do we have to learn? Why does it have to be that way? Why? Why are we in school? Can't we just, can't it be like, summer recess for the rest of our lives?
It's an experience. We are here as human beings to experience specifically emotions. You know, if you think of, say, I always use the example of a bullfrog. I don't know why, but it always just pops into my head. But a bullfrog doesn't need to learn forgiveness. You know, that's why we're a human being. We're here to experience all sorts of things. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to evolve. I certainly don't have all the answers, but I do know we are everlasting souls and we can be in different, um, shall we say, dimensions and have different experiences. But right now, we are human and we only remember what our human existence is. So that's something that we can do when we get in touch with the subconscious mind, is take you back to that time where you can remember all of that information. And I have developed and created a protocol, and one of the sessions is something that I call life lesson, and it's specifically to take you back to soul form in order for you to remember, what are you supposed to learn in this particular lifetime. and then allow you to explore the idea of how have you created your life around learning this experience. And when you figure that out, you realize that life is happening for you. It's not against you, it's for you in order to learn these lessons, in order for you to remember you're not alone.
So, and yes, that's I think an epiphany for many when you realize you're never alone because you have the
Mhm.
most important person with you 24/7, and that's you. Um,
Exactly.
do you do past life regressions?
Yes, I do.
So to validate what you're saying here, how a lot of this stuff comes from before we were even born. Did I ever share with you what came up in this regression I did?
I don't remember if you did or not. Please share again.
I'll laser it down, but I've never done it before, past life regression. And I was a farmer in another life. And I can see myself, under hypnosis, at the barn, the horse, all of that, all good. And I know there's somebody around, like a spouse partner, but I don't see him. So a little more time goes on, and they're just not around. I don't see him. I'm looking around. I'm hanging out, right? All of a sudden, bam, they died.
Mm,
What am I? Alone.
hmm
And I'm somewhat skeptical in all of this. I have friends who are psychics by profession, world
hmm
famous, and I'm still skeptical. Love them,
hmm
but I'm still looking. Can't you know what? Can't punch a hole in that. Whatever things that they say. So even in this situation, but after I realized that this person had passed, then I saw an image of me in a room. I could even tell you it was dark wood on the wall as they were about to pass. And
hmm
I got emotional. I was
hmm
extremely like that was, and it happened again another, and it wasn't the alone thing. Then I was with someone else, change of scenery. Now I'm in town. I rode into town with the horse, and
hmm
I got elected to something. I was at some kind of stature where, I'm talking to people, addressing them. I don't do politics. Maybe it was political. I don't even know. But I remember seeing to the side another person I was with, spouse, partner, whatever it was, and see her looking at me proudly and felt that like
hmm
this is real. So for me, I would never feel those emotions. There's no way unless it had to have been real. It wouldn't happen. You watch a movie, you get a little, stuck on the characters, you feel a little bit not like this. This is like somebody just
Right.
died. But common theme here, alone. And,
Right.
who knows in other lives if that theme repeats itself.
So, in my experience, I would propose to you that this is not the first lifetime that you have needed to learn that lesson. So, this has been challenging. But the wonderful thing is you just get to try it again. If you don't fully learn that lesson of being able to be alone, you get to do it again. And you get to do it maybe in a different form. If you were a man last time, maybe you're a woman this time. You can change things up. And again, it's all to allow your soul to have these experiences to grow and to expand. So you probably have been working on that for multiple lifetimes. And that's a specific question I ask people when they find out what their lesson is or what their purpose is. What I will ask them, is this the first lifetime that you have been working on this? And that gives us information as well.
Are people able to answer that?
Absolutely. Every time.
Wow. Yeah. I'll be doing it
It's
again.
a It's an amazing protocol, and there's so many things that we can learn about ourselves. But when you learn about yourself, you are empowered. And through my work, I have realized I am here to learn. And now I can give myself grace. Now, if I'm presented with something that I think is challenging, and some of the things that I've needed to work through in this lifetime are working through fear. And I chose a profession that was steeped in fear, working in oncology with cancer patients. I was surrounded by fear. That's how I learned what it was. But that's how that works. And then I was removed from that. And then I had to learn how to remove a deeper layer of fear and release anxiety in my life. So it was interesting for me to see how I have crafted my life around learning what fear is. And really, when I got to the end of my protocol and we find out what the purpose is in this lifetime, my purpose was to focus on peace and be peace in
Mm,
the midst of fear.
mm,
And that's powerful. So when you learn that, now when I come into a situation that could be fearful, I know that, okay, this is another opportunity. I'm going to learn something from this. I give myself grace and I just try my best. Okay, if I don't get it this time, I get to try again. Maybe I'll do it a little bit different next time if this one didn't work. But I'm not putting myself down anymore for not being confident. And,
yep.
now I'm saying, oh, this is a great opportunity. How am I going to handle this one now?
Opportunity is such a great word, and it resonates with
Hmm.
me in the past, even 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and back when things would present themselves, I'd be like, "Oh, what? Oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? How am I going to get through that?" But
Hmm.
now I flip it and say, all right, whatever. There's an opportunity there.
Right.
And it's not the cheesy rose-colored glasses where you're not being real with yourself about it. No, it's
Hmm.
just like, no, this is an opportunity. Maybe the universe is pushing in this direction because this is the right way to go. And you said a word before that really sparks in me, the word peace. Once you do all this stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
that's what comes up. And when I was younger, and I'm not super religious, but I go to church occasionally, whatever. But I always hear, peace be with you, peace be with you, peace be
Yes.
with you. And I just say back, peace be with you. I had no idea what it meant
Hmm.
until I realized it was missing. And I only realized that after doing this work, it showed up. It's like, oh, okay.
Hmm.
And I call it the quiet calm. And it's just like, it's all
Right.
good. And I think it's just building faith, trust in yourself, resilience. And again, you got you. Nobody's going to know you better, love you better, take care of you any better, always be there for you, never break plans, blah, 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 all that. You got it. It's all
Right.
you, right?
And we look at things that happen to us as really bad things and that everything's kind of outside of us happening to us. And part of my work is to help people reframe that we need to do the work on the inside, and then that changes everything on the outside.
Yep.
And that we are simply learning and we can take our time. We can learn as much as we need to learn, do what we need to do. One of the themes in my life, I've just been too serious my whole life. And when I have really realized what peace is, the way you were experiencing, I can just enjoy life more. I can joke around a little bit more. I don't have to be so serious. And part of that was anxiety with me too. Once I removed that fear, you can take a deep breath and say, oh, this is okay.
Yep.
I don't have to worry about this. And now I do truly see that I have a higher power in my life. I know that I'm an everlasting soul, and I know everything is working in my favor. I'm just learning along the way.
Yeah. As you help others.
And as I'm able to help others, there's a saying that we're all wounded healers. We all are wounded. And once we heal, then we can allow others around us to heal. And that can be in any profession. That can be your profession as well. You are here and present and guiding people in some amazing conversations. And that's healing. That's healing to you, the person you're talking to, and then all of your audience. So it doesn't matter what profession you're in. We can all be healers because we can send love to everyone around us. And that's truly what we're supposed to learn to do. We're supposed to learn what love is, to love ourselves and to love other people.
Absolutely. And I always say, and I tell everybody that, when I talk about doing podcasts, I'm in therapy for hours every day
Yeah.
because of people like you. And I take that internally. It helps me, but I share it with others. I take notes. I write things down, little pieces like
Nice.
the 11 and 12-year-old thing.
Yes.
Wow.
That's science. That is
Yeah, I know.
just,
Yeah.
that's how it is. I'm not making anything up.
When you talk about being serious, I look at it this way. Mentally, we're 12 years old, right?
Mhm.
So we work on that. But in the meantime, why not be a kid? Be curious, have fun. Who cares?
Right.
I am a kid. I've been saying it for years, even before I knew all this. I'm a big kid with responsibility, but I'm just a big kid.
And when you see a child, let's say maybe an infant, they are pure joy.
Mm-hmm.
They have not been kind of knocked around by life yet. And
Yep.
they're exuberant, they're joyful. They'll start to giggle and they'll get the belly laugh. And you can't help but just laugh with them because they are pure joy. That is how all of us start out.
Yep.
We are all perfect, emotionally perfect beings. We are all pure joy. And then what happens? Life happens because we're supposed to learn we're having experiences and we're supposed to learn something. So it's
Yeah.
just kind of like getting a layer of mud thrown on you. And that little exuberant, joyful baby that was shining brightly starts to get dim because they've got some layers of mud on them. So the work that I can do with people is help remove a layer of mud, one layer at a time. You don't do it all at once. One at a time. It's very gentle. It is emotional, but when you have felt this, when you release an emotion, there's a huge weight lifted off of you and you just feel different. Sometimes you can't explain it. You don't know why. People will come out of a session and it's like deer in the headlights. I don't know what just happened, but I feel so much better. And sometimes we don't need to be able to explain it. If it's something that happened when you were in soul form, you're in a different dimension, there are no human words to explain what some of the healing has happened for you, but
Yep.
it is true.
It's life-changing, transformational.
It is.
Kathy, how do we connect with you?
Just search for my website. It's Restore Mind and Body 7, the number 7.com. And there you can see some of the services that I offer and the ways that I can assist you in your healing journey. It would be an honor to work with anybody who is interested in healing.
Thank you for today and everything we've talked about so far in these podcasts. Your passion and love for helping people just shines right through. Your energy is just amazing. And
Thank you.
thank you for a lot of validation for me. I'll share it with others.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be thinking about the 11-12 thing.
Yeah.
I'm stuck on that one. That's a new one. Yeah, I'm not surprised, but I've never heard it from somebody in your profession. Thank you for everything and for being here.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. Have a great day.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.